Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, in this episode we are going to take a look at an FPV beginner kit. Now, do you recall a few videos ago I did a review of the BETAFPV CETUS all-in-one kit for flying FPV drones? Well, it's been replaced with the CETUS Pro. Yes, this one here is the Pro version. So let's take a look at it. It comes in a really nice handy carry case like this, and if I unzipper it, am I even unzipper? No, I'm zippering up. If I unzipper it, inside you're going to go, hey, this here looks just like the CETUS that I bought before, if you already bought one, or the ones you saw before. But it's actually different, and basically the differences are right here. This drone is different. This is the Pro version of the drone, and if I pull it out, well here, I'll just hold it this way to show you. If I pull it out, let me show you what is different. So let's toss this away for now. So I have right here with me the CETUS, and this is the CETUS Pro. Do you see a massive size difference? Well, the reason there's a size difference is because the original CETUS has brushed motors. You know, you can see brushed if I bring it close here. See the brushed motors up top, and the Pro has brushless motors, like the real thing, like the Pro motors. So the difference is if you have brush motors and you have a dog or a cat around the house, those little cat hairs or dog hairs will get in the motors and could cause them to fail. The good thing is brushed motors are super inexpensive to replace. And brush motors as well, drones don't fly as fast and they don't do as well outdoors because the motors aren't as powerful. Brushless motors, on the other hand, you can have a dog or a cat. Motors aren't going to fail. They cost a little bit more to replace. BETAFPV uses a simple motor replacement system. If I show you here on the bottom, you see you just basically buy the motor and you plug it in the bottom. They have that on both their drones. They have that on many other drones. It's a very simple replacement system that beginners can easily figure out and install themselves. So when you have brushless, it's a lot more power, a lot more zip, so you can fly it indoors. They do have a nice setting for indoors, and you can fly it outdoors. And just like this one, you can do flips and rolls, but this one here, you can do the more pro flips and rolls and acrobats because the motors will spin up really fast because they're brushless. Also, you'll notice as well, the batteries have changed. If I bring them close, you can see right here, this little skinny one is for the original CETUS, and the large one is now for the Pro version. They still include this battery charger / tester, which is really good because you can test your batteries and see how much voltage you have left before you go out and fly, so you don't get stuck with low voltage. So there you go, I've got a battery stuck in and it's showing me exactly what the voltage of the battery is. Pretty decent, eh? So there we go. The remote control is not changed in the Pro version, same as it was in the previous version, and it has all the switches in the front. You can use it with the simulator, and it is rechargeable, and you can bind it to other drones, certain receivers. I always get confused how different manufacturers make these beginner kits and assign the switches because I don't mess with them. So you can see I have labeled all my switches right here. You can see as that comes into focus, little stickers. So all 4 switches have labels as to what they do. The goggles that you get are identical to the previous model. No difference there. There is no DVR inside, so when you're flying, you cannot record the video in these goggles. You just put them on your face, fly around. You can see where your drone is going. The reception back is pretty decent. These goggles have a good reception for a fair amount of distance, but it all depends on the antenna in this drone. And can you find the antenna anywhere? Well, you can't. So obviously, the video being sent out of this without an antenna sticking out someplace like a long antenna is not going to be the greatest. So it's designed to be out in a park or in your house to get the video reception. Just like anything analog, if you get too far away, you're going to get snow in your image, and then you have to just turn the drone so that the reception of the video comes back to you and you lose the snow. And now the best part for beginners out there who are watching this video and thinking of buying the CETUS Pro. The CETUS Pro is designed for beginners who have never flown FPV. And I think they thought, you know, a lot of people are beginners because they fly camera drones. You know, when you fly a DJI drone or anything like that, it's so simple to fly. There's no talent required for those type of drones because the drone does all the work for you. The only talent is basically trying to become a photographer and get something that looks good with the camera and move the drone in a way that things look cinematic and pleasing to other people. That's where the talent comes with a camera drone. But flying a camera drone, you know, you can give it to a 1-year-old and they can fly it. It's so simple. However, in the FPV world, you cannot take your hands off the joysticks. It's 100% hand-eye coordination, and so many people have difficulty. everybody who flies FPV start it the same way. It's like trying to ride a skateboard. You're gonna fall off a few times, maybe break a few bones, break a few drones, but eventually you're gonna get it. So FPV is no different. It takes a lot of skill and practice before you get really good. So Beta FPV made this for beginners, and they made it for beginners who come from the camera drone hobby, as I was mentioning, the beginner hobby, because you have a lot of bad habits where the drone's doing all the work for you. So what they did is they stuck an optical flow sensor on the bottom, and I think over here they have some sort of like laser finder down there. So basically this here will check the ground and check objects around the ground and adjust for it. So let me go through the modes. There's 3 modes that come with this drone, and you have your little switch down here to select the modes. Mode 1, Mode 2, Mode 3, and I'll explain what the modes are really quick, and then I'll show you an example of the modes flying. So Mode 1 is called Normal Mode, and in Normal Mode, this thing flies like a very slow, the slowest drone in the world. It will cruise along, and you can take your hands off the left joystick. Yeah, it will just sit in the air because it uses this little optical flow and the laser to keep itself above objects on the ground. So if it's coming along and this was an object, it would see the object, and if it's flying at 1 foot above the ground, when it sees the object, it's going to go up 1 foot above the object and then go down and carry on. That's how simple it is to fly. You could fly it, go make your lunch and come back and it would still be flying. Actually, I should mention flight time on a drone like this with the included battery is about 4 minutes on average. Mode 2 is called Sport Mode, and in Sport Mode, you don't really have so much of that optical flow and everything else. It's basically going to allow you to tilt the drone a little bit more, and you can fly it, but there is stability still on the drone. In other words, it's not going to flop all over the place in the air and do flips and rolls and everything like that and cause you to crash your drone fast, but you have control over the drone, and if you let go of the left joystick or drop it too far down, you're just going to crash into the ground. So for a beginner, you're going to start off in normal mode, then you're going to move your way up to sport mode and get into that, and then finally the last one is manual mode, and in manual mode, you can do your flips and rolls and all that other good stuff like a normal FPV drone. So it's basically taking sport mode to another level and bringing you closer to the FPV hobby, because the FPV hobby, there's pretty much no restrictions. You can do whatever you want as you fly like a bird. Now I should mention, one of the cool things that Beta FPV did is for each of those modes, they have a low, medium, and high rates. So what does that mean? That means, say I'm in normal mode and I'm still flying along and I'm doing this really slow thing flying along the ground. I want to go a little bit faster maybe because I'm getting better at it. Well, they have a switch over here, which I've got labeled speed, and you flick that. So you've got low, medium, high rates, and that will just cause your drone to go faster and faster and faster. So you can be in normal, and as you get better, you can go normal, medium speed and normal, faster speed. And you can do that in sport mode, and you can do it in manual mode. So you see, as your skills grow, the drone grows with you. Finally, it also has a turtle mode on here. Now, turtle mode is something that after you get really good in the hobby, you'll use. I don't think it works in normal mode. I don't know. I don't think it would because of the optical flow. Anyways, let me explain what turtle mode is. Turtle mode is like this. I'm flying along and blink, I hit the ground, whoa, like that, and my drone is upside down. As soon as your drone's upside down, you have a switch on here, over here, which is your turtle mode. And when you click that, then you move the joysticks like this, and it causes the motors to spin, and it will flip itself and right itself. And then you take turtle mode off and you just carry on flying away. That just saves you with your goggles on from taking your goggles off, walking over, picking up your drone, putting it back down on the ground, and then flying again. So yeah, a lot of the, well, pretty much all modern FPV drones have a turtle mode of sorts that you can enable in beta flight, but this one here has it already enabled. Before I show you some flight footage, I just want to mention one quick thing about the goggles, and that is there's only 4 buttons on the side. So you have one in the center, which is a big S. You press that to basically search for your video signal coming off here. If you're getting snow inside, just press the S and it will find the video signal. You also have the manual controls to go through bands or channels manually if you want. There's also a menu system inside, and you got an on-off power. But as I mentioned, there's no DVR to record the video. And see, I wear glasses. If you wear glasses, if you wear contacts, you're fine. But if you wear glasses, yeah, you can't fit them over your glasses. So I cannot use these goggles in this video as I fly the drone, because if I take off my glasses and put these on, Well, everything's just blurry because it's not for my prescription. But my Fat Shark goggles have my prescription, and I will be wearing these because the lenses are adjusted for my eyesight, and as well, there is a DVR inside. It's not the greatest, but at least it'll give you some footage of what it looks like when you're flying. So the first thing I want to show you is those modes, and that's indoors. I'm going to fly that around, just show you the modes, the normal mode, the sport mode, and the manual mode, and I'll just fly it in one room because you can fly this indoors no problem. So let me show you that now. All right, for this test, I have a camera set up over here, and I'm using a room that's being renovated. There is pretty much nothing in it right now. So I'm gonna put this drone over on this chair and start off in normal mode. So the first thing we wanna do is power on the controller. Just hold down the power button, wait until you hear some beautiful music. There we go, and the controller's on. And then the next thing we're gonna do is we have a battery on the bottom. We just have to plug it in like this. And when you plug it in, the drone has LED lights that change colors. Each light of a different color means a different thing. Right now, flashing means it has to initialize itself, and the only way it's going to work is if you put it flat on the ground, and that flashing should stop. There we go, it went solid. Now on our controller, we have all the switches down, which is perfect, and I've labeled them all so I know what I want to do. So normal, when I show you modes here, this is the top one. And since I have it all the way down, that means it's in normal. And this is your arm switch. So let's go down here. If I flick this up, the motors start. And now the optical flow and everything else is going to work as I bring it up, because what I want to show you is flying from here, and I have a table here, so it's going to have to raise itself automatically, and then I'll take it off the table and we'll see what happens. So right now it's spinning itself to death. Let me just put you back there. All right, here we go. Put this left joystick and take it on up. Here we go. There it is. So the optical flow is working. As it gets to the table, it's going up. I'm not touching anything. Oops. Too high. Bring it down. There we go. And you see what I mean as I can let go of the joysticks and not do anything, because it's just using optical flow. It's like a camera drone, but for the FPV hobby. So I can move it forward. I'm just using one joystick here. Let's just bring it over the table so it's down by the window. As long as you see a blue light underneath, that means your battery is good. See? So easy to fly. And to land it, you have a choice. You can land it on the ground or hit the arm switch. And I hit the arm switch, which is this one down here. Motors turn off, just put your hand out to catch it. All right, let's try the next mode. So right here, modes is a top switch. So I had it in normal. I'm gonna go into sport. This is like an FPV drone now, so it's gonna fly just like an FPV drone. So I'm gonna turn it that way because I'm used to flying FPV drones this way. Over here for my speed, you'll notice I had the first mode in low, and I'm gonna leave this one in low. All of these will be in low for indoors. So let's arm it, spins up, and let's fly it like a normal drone. Now when I say normal drone, I mean normal FPV drone. So this is what I'm used to. I can fly these very easily, indoors or outdoors. There is no optical flow working, and you cannot take your hands off the joysticks. So to me, this is the mode I like the best, sport mode. This is what I would have the most fun with. If I was gonna fly it in the house, that's what I would fly it in. So let's bring it down and land it on the ground. You can land it, or you can do the same thing I did before. You hit the arm switch and you kill it. Bring it over here, put it up, arm switch, and don't do that. Don't do that. You have to catch it. And the last mode we have on here would be manual. So all the way up, blink. There we go. That's manual mode. So now the drone is a little bit more difficult to control indoors because I can actually turn it, tilt it a lot more this way, and this way. So I really have to hang on to the controls. This is more for outdoors. So put your left joystick all the way down, hit your arm switch, and let's take it on up. And there you go. You can see it's a lot more difficult to fly. I gotta put it down. I crashed it again. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is outdoors. Oh, maybe I can show you turtle mode indoors. Let me try this. So I've stuck it in sport mode. I've got it on the table, and we're going to fly it up, and I'm going to flip it. Let's say I crashed. So I'm going to put it down, and I'm going to force it to crash by doing this. And I'm going to flip it. There we go. So it's upside down. And now it should turn off. It knows it's upside down. So I'm going to flick this switch here, which is the turtle mode. I'm going to flick that up. And then I'm going to move these here joysticks. There we go. It's on a table. It needs to be on grass. There we go. So we flipped it over. Then after you get it flipped over, take this turtle mode, turn it off, hit the arm switch, and you're ready to fly again. All right. All right, next thing I want to show you is flying the CETUS PRO outside, just to show you that you can fly it outside. There is some wind, but I'm just going to show you how it flies in the wind, flying around my place outside. Here we go. All right, we have our drone to fly outside. I'm going to stick it up here on my Jeep. Now I can't fly with these goggles because they don't fit over my glasses. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this GoPro, which is on right now, and I'm going to try to stick it in front. And the video you're going to see is recorded with this GoPro sitting in front of these goggles, which is going to look kind of strange, but we'll see how it looks. All right, so our goggles are there underneath that t-shirt. Put on the Fat Sharks. All right, this will be a quick flight. If you look down in the right hand corner, you can see it says N, S, and now M. So I'll leave it on M, and for the speeds, just to fly around here because I can't fly very far, I'll leave it on slow. So let's arm it. There we go, I hear it going. And let's fly around like this. So I'm in manual mode on slow. My video is, there we go, now I got some speed. My Fat Sharks are on the wrong channel, I think, because my video is going on and off, but I can still control it so far. I haven't crashed it yet. I'll just keep it close. Hopefully the video reception in the goggles through the GoPro is looking okay, that you can check out. I hope I have it on the right video channel, but there we go. So that's M mode in slow. So if I find the speeds here, I can change it. Let's just see. Because I don't think in this mode you can you do any acrobats? Let's see. Yeah, oh, you can do them slowly. There we go. Let's come back this way, try again. There we go. So that's slow mode. I find slow mode is pretty fast. If you were a beginner, you'd find this pretty fast. So sport mode would be easier to fly, so I'm going to switch it. There we go, I'm in S mode. Oh, so I see S mode is kind of like on an FPV drone, it's like angle mode. There we go. So look at how I'm flying now. It's much smoother, it's not crazy. I can hover off the ground, I can come over and check me out. There I am right there, over my Jeep. Unfortunately, I think I picked the wrong video channel in my Fat Sharks because my image is turning black and white and all other types of colors and going in and out of reception. The drone only has a 25 milliwatt output, which should normally be a football field in length, but it does get interference from the houses around here, so yeah. So anyways, that's what you get when you fly this baby outdoors. Let me just land it here for a second. I'm going to put it down here. Put it down here facing me. There we go. And now I'm going to switch it on here. Let me go manual mode and let me go and put it on fast. So where's fast? Mid, fast. Okay, this should be fun. Arm it. All right, here we go. So it's got some battery power. This is fast. Oop, there's a car. I got to watch out for that car. All right, this is fast. Look at I could overtake the car if I want. So I've got it on manual fast mode here. So this would be a blast to fly out someplace, just having a blast. And let's see. Oh yeah, look at that freaking, look at how fast you could do spins. That is crazy. Oh, I see low volume, which means not that the sound is getting lower, but I think my battery is getting lower. So we got to bring it down. All right, so let's bring it in. We're going to slide it along the driveway here. This is a slide. Watch this. That didn't work out as I wanted. But anyways, there we go. Just to reiterate, I've already mentioned you can use this controller with a flight sim, so I'm just going to show you right now me using it with a flight sim. Just remember, when you use this with a flight sim, you power on the controller first, then you plug in the USB cable into your computer or your Mac, your PC with your flight sim, and then configure your controller, and you'll be able to use the controller with the flight sim. Now, a lot of people always ask me every time on this channel about, hey, what flight sim do you recommend? Trust me, guys, when I started out in this hobby, I flew flight sims. That was years ago. I haven't had to use a flight sim in an awfully long time, so I really don't know any good flight sims. All I do is I look at my computer, find some old ones, or I just go online and Google, go flight sim, and I download something that's really cheap, and then you see me in videos using a flight sim. But honestly, I don't use flight sims. Let me show you all the extra stuff you get in this kit when you buy the CETUS PRO. So check this out. Here we have the box your beautiful CETUS PRO comes in, as well as the beautiful hard case. And when you open the hard case, these are the contents. First item in the box is your CETUS PRO with the 18,000 kV brushless motors. To power your Cetus Pro, 450 milliamp hour batteries are included. You get 2 of them, plus you get a charger that can charge up 2 batteries, and as well, it is a battery tester. Total takeoff weight of the drone with battery is 44 grams. Spare props are included, as well as a prop removal tool and a USB-C connector for firmware updates. The included rechargeable controller has many switches that I have labeled. As well, this is the port for recharging your controller, as well as using it for flight sims. On the bottom you have a setup and bind switch. The included box goggles come with a head strap, and they do give you a nice image inside, but they are very limited in the amount of buttons on the goggles. Final items would be a USB-C cable for charging everything up, as well as quick start guide and user manual. Alright, so that's my review of the Cetus Pro. I know I made a review of the Cetus before, and there's really not much difference other than the drone is much better in the Pro, but there's going to be a price difference as well, I believe, so it's up to you. Do you want to buy the Cetus if you're a beginner, or do you want to buy the Cetus Pro? I think you'll be happy with either. Go check them out, see which one's for you. The links are below, and find one that is at the price that you love. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you have questions on being a beginner or anything like that, just post them below and I'll get back to you. Alright, catch you in the next video. Bye!